Job interview process can be stressful, and the questions you may face may be challenging. Job Connection career coach Sarah Yucatel is here today with some help so you can handle those curveball questions without fumbling, or maybe without dropping the pitch or whatever, if we stick with the baseball analogies. But first off, let's start. What is the best way to prepare for those tough interview questions?
Well, the best way to prepare for an interview is practice. You know, going through, making sure that you know the role, the responsibilities, and anticipating what those tough questions will be.
Some of the toughest questions that I've seen in different interviews that I've been on have always been situational or maybe like a behavioral in nature. Can you give an example of a question like that? And then what's the best way for us to answer it so we feel prepared and we sound well informed and in the best positioning for the interview?
So a situational question would be, tell me about a time that you've had to deal with a difficult person. And with that, you need to be very specific. What was the situation? What actions did you take, and what were the results?
So is there one time I had to interview this lady about Job Connection all the time? No, I'm just kidding. No, that wasn't the situation at all.
Great, thanks, Bill.
What about a behavioral question or something like that?
So a behavioral question would be like, what was the biggest problem you've had to solve in your last role? And being able to describe what was the situation, what was the problem, what actions did you take, and what were the results? Okay, so this was a position that I was put in. Here's how I adapted, overcame, and succeeded past that adverse situation. Or another situational question would be, tell me how you manage multiple conflicting priorities. How do you
That gives me
prioritize your
heartburn
time?
just thinking about it. I'm not going to lie. But what if I don't know the answer to a question? You ask me, maybe it's a situational question and my mind blanks, or you ask me an more informative question that I just don't know the answer to.
Well, if your mind blanks, you could say, could we come back to that question in a little bit? Or if you simply don't know the answer, just say, I don't know the answer, but let me research it and I'll send you a follow-up email with my answer.
Be truthful then.
Right, because it's like if you get the job and you get asked a question, you don't want to lie. So just say, this is what I would do in this situation. I would take my time, I would research, and I would rather give you an informed answer versus something off the cuff.
Just whatever I spit out here. Yeah. Well, how do you recover from that then? Let's say you give a bad answer or you have a bad question. What's that recovery look like? Do I step back and move forward, or do I just own it and just keep going?
Just say, that was a really tough question. You can acknowledge that it was a tough question and say, I'd really like to do some further research. Would it be okay if I send you a follow-up email with the answer that I'd really like?
Well, Sarah, those are some great tips, and it makes me concerned if I ever have another job interview again, because I don't think about a lot of that stuff.
Well, call me. I'll be able to help you.
I'll call you for the coaching tips.
Please do.